Greetings, shooters and reloaders. So today I wanted to take a moment to talk about headspace, and this is going to be just a very basic and brief overview explaining what headspace is and why it's important to you as a shooter and a reloader. So in its simplest terms, headspace is the space, let's see if I get this, there we go. This is a bolt out of a 7mm Mauser. So headspace is this from the bolt face back here to, on this particular cartridge, which is a bottleneck rifle cartridge, it headspace is on the shoulder. So there's a datum line about mid-shoulder here, and that's where headspace is on. And in its simplest terms, you could say it's what stops the cartridge from going any farther forward. And that space is set by SAMI specs. SAMI is the Sporting Arms Manufacturers Institute, I think it is, and they set the standards. And so they have a certain standard that a chamber has to meet to be within SAMI specs and to be safe. And so why is it important to you as a reloader or as a shooter? If your rifle is out of headspace, if it has excessive headspace, it allows too much expansion of the cartridge. And what can happen then is you can get split cases. So you can have the case neck split, you can have the case head split down here, you can have case head separation, and all of that hot gas that would normally go down the barrel is then going to come backwards, and it can damage your firearm and also you. You're going to have all those hot gases coming back in your face, and that's not something that obviously any of us want to have happen. So headspace is important. And if you're buying a rifle off the rack and it's, commercial made and everything like that, the headspace is set. You most likely will never have to worry about it. As a reloader, you'll only have to worry about making sure that your reloads are within those specs. And one of the ways you can do it is you can get one of these. This one happens to be made by Hornady. I think Lyman makes them. And it's simple. You take your case after it has been resized, and you can drop it down in here, and you can see that it should fit flush. As long as that fits flush, you're good to go. It's within specs, and you don't need to worry about it. If it does not fit down in there flush, then you need to make some adjustments on your sizing die. Maybe you need to screw it down just a touch more and do a better job of full-length resizing. Different cartridges headspace differently. So for instance, this is a 38 Special. The headspace on this is from here, the bolt face, to the rim on this side of the rim, on the inside of the rim. And which isn't much, but that's how and where it headspaces. This is a 9mm. Now the headspace on that, these headspace on the case mouth. So the headspace is from here, the bolt face, to the cartridge mouth, and that's how that headspace is. So headspace is important. And like I say, it's a good idea to get one of these, get a headspace gauge like this to check it, to check your reloads. There's also some gauges you can buy to check the chamber to make sure that it is within specs. And those are called, there's a go gauge, a no-go gauge, and a field gauge. And it's a gauge you can buy that you put in the chamber, and if you can close the bolt on it, let's see, how does that work? If you can close the bolt on a no-go gauge, I think it's out of specs, if I remember correctly. I don't have any of those gauges, but here's the thing: if you're just using commercial rifles, you don't have to worry about it. Now, if the gun has been rebarreled, then you need to worry about it, and you need to check it. If it has a new bolt put in or something, you need to check it then. Take it to a gunsmith if you don't have those gauges or don't want to buy them. I think they run about 30 bucks a piece or something like that for the gauges. But anyway, let's say you buy a surplus military gun and you're not sure of anything about it, one of the things you can do is check the headspace, especially if the bolt, if the serial numbers on the bolt don't match the rest of the gun. It means the bolt has most likely been changed, and that can affect the headspace. So if I was buying a military surplus gun and I looked at the bolt and it had a serial number on there that didn't match the receiver, I would be suspect that it might possibly have a headspace issue, and I would have it checked out before I shot it. That's about all I can tell you right now on headspacing. It can get more involved than that with different ways of checking it, but that's headspace in its simplest form. So that's all for now. Until next time, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and I'll see you on the range.